So, when you see a pass rusher, no matter who you are in football, when you cannot use one of your arms, it's hard to be effective. And so far, Derek has really been, well, as I say, Eddie, he goes around Tony Jones.
Elway throwing long to Rod Smith. He's wide open, and he's a sprinter. Caught at the 5-yard line. And Elway, meanwhile, is down back at the 8. 80 yards to match number 80, Rod Smith.
And they're defensing the Broncos to stop Davis today. Seattle is. Elway. Earl fires. Touchdown. Ed McCaffrey. Now McCaffrey, the veteran, earns himself a $24 million contract here. Elway to the end zone and wide open for a touchdown is McCaffrey. The second for Ed McCaffrey, 21 yards on the play. They're going to go for 2 here because of the only down by 5. They want to get it to the 7 mark. 17-12, the score is 19-14. 5 points until the 2-point play by Elway. Wide open. Sean and Sharp all alone again. So they get the touchdown and the 2-pointer.
Rod Smith and Willie Green left. Ed McCaffrey right. On 3rd and 10. Elway with time, fires and completes to Rod Smith, and he's on his way. Smith is going. Touchdown, Denver. Rod Smith and John Elway hook up on a 72-yard touchdown connection.
Defensive lines in, and then when the first unit comes back in, they make things happen.
9th play of this drive for the Broncos. Rams may have jumped. They did. Free play for the end zone to Dwayne Carswell. Third and 16. Elway gets time, going deep for Rod Smith. He's out there. He's got it. Touchdown. Second big connection with Rod Smith in the game. Earlier, a 72-yarder. This one, 38. Broncos 1st and 10 at the Rams 23. Byron Chamberlain in motion. 2 tight ends in for the Broncos. Everybody out. Throwing for the end zone to McCaffrey. Touchdown. First catch of the day for Ed McCaffrey.
That slack off him.
Interesting. Bingo said they wanted to take away the run of Terrell Davis and let John make John Elway try and beat him. That's not working. Terrell Davis, they can't take that away. Elway has pressure, but he goes deep. Has a man wide open. Ed McCaffrey touchdown. He was wide open. There wasn't a bingo within 10 yards of him.
McCaffrey gives his teammates what's now called the mile-high salute after that touchdown. He's trying to quick snap one right up the middle on Cincinnati.
9th play of the drive. Again, 3 wide receivers on the set. Elway to throw. Rolling right, throws, touchdown. Rod Smith. That is his 3rd touchdown of the year. Denver takes the lead for the first time in the ballgame. It's all at NBC Sports. JerryRice.com. Okay. 2nd down and 10. Elway. Diving grab right at the goal line. Touchdown. Rod Smith, his 2nd touchdown grab of the ballgame. His 4th of the year. Out of the offensive set. 5 wide receivers. Elway in a shotgun with no back to protect it. Elway goes deep. Shannon Sharp picks it up.
rookie from Nebraska, Michael Booker.
Interference. Defense, number 20. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Willie Green, his first touchdown of the year.
Tree that Denver has.
Second down, 1. Also points out the ankle's okay.
Yeah, seems to be.
Elway rolls, throws, pass is complete. Detron Smith all the way into the end zone.
How about that?
Everybody misdirection, everybody going left. Elway rolls right. Detron Smith out of the backfield goes with him. 17 yards. Touchdown Denver.
His first catch is...
And spread the field, and now an empty backfield. And Elway takes it in himself. It worked for New England on their drive on a 4th down, and it works for the Broncos. The quarterback sneak for the 6th.
The motion by Terrell Davis was the key, because the motion took the linebacker out of the middle. There was nobody to challenge Elway when he went over the top.
Sit back there as he made the cross. 2nd and 10. Protection is great. Looking for Smith. And Smith is able to adjust and makes a great catch and takes it to the 1. He made the adjustment on Ty Law. Came back to get it. 1st and goal. Ty Law was in a sprint with Rod Smith. Elway just hung it up for grabs, and Rod Smith went up and got it.
Frank, I'll guarantee you, with that ball 10 yards away, Ty Law thought he had an interception.
2nd and 9. The one thing about Sharp, he's got a wonderful sense of humor, and he did apologize. To his buddies on the Patriots. Elway going deep, and it's fought by Smith, and he gets tackled at the 21-yard line. So they go deep on 3rd down, and Elway connects with...
2nd and 8. Davis in motion, nobody in the backfield. Elway under the rush. He's going to run it again. He's got a lot of room in the center of the field and dives to the 18-yard line. This looks like the John Elway of old as he's getting huge chunks on the scramble.
Is more plays in succession. They've had little success and little failures. Little success, little failures. They need success, success, success. Elway for the end zone, wide open, touchdown, McCaffrey.
John Elway threatening to work his magic again. They'll go for 2 as he spots McCaffrey for the touchdown.
6 defensive backs, including Bellamy on for the Seahawks. 3rd down and 6. The fade to Green. Touchdown.
John Elway running the ball.
Shannon Sharp telling us that of all the teams they play, the Seahawks usually do the best job on him. That's been true again today. Play action fake. Elway with time. Going for Smith. He's got it. Touchdown.
He can't jam. If he can't jam, he can't knock a receiver off stride. And if you can't knock a receiver off stride, you can't hang with him. Sean Springs was never in that play. Had nothing to do with the hand. Had a lot to do with the Rod Smith, though.
59-yard strike. Elway to Smith.
John Elway with his, go ahead, hit me again.
2nd and 10. Elway deep in the corner. Rod Smith, touchdown.
Well, they got to Tyrone Poole first on the penalty, and then they got to him on the up.
I don't know. I have to explain to the offensive line. They love this guy running. Well, he takes himself out, which he did on this case, and Vaughn Hebron replaces him. Elway throwing long for Rod Smith. What a catch! A one-handed stab, and the flag is down at the 12-yard line. Rod Smith with a spectacular catch. 2nd and goal from the 5 as we open the 2nd quarter. 3-0 Denver. Elway to Shannon Sharp. Did he catch it? Yes. Touchdown. He was screened out from our view here. They allow more people around the field here at Kansas City than any place.
Doing a little Spider-Man and then Superman. And
well, I'm going to tell you, one thing about, we had this guy in yesterday. We
fumble very close, but a good call by the official. It was a fumble. And now the Broncos take over at the Oakland 40-yard line. Buys time over the middle. An unbelievable catch by McCaffrey. He's 6'5", and he used all of it. And what a shot by Elway. In between two defenders, McCaffrey at 6'5" was able to come down with it. I think it's a few yards from the 15. Elway throws. That's caught by Smith. Dives in. Touchdown. Guys, your arms are going to get tired saluting. And there's the
Elway to throw on first down. Pump fake McCaffrey over the middle to the 45. It's a gain of 26 on the first play from scrimmage. Elway. McCaffrey. Touchdown.
That's just a great use of play action. When you've got a guy like Terrell Davis, you have to pay attention to him. And the mobility and speed of John Elway to still get outside.
Even more important for the Dolphins as well as the Detroit Lions. Denver from the 47. Blitz, they pick it up. Elway floats it to McCaffrey, wide open to the 21. He beat Terrence Shaw for 29 yards. 3rd and goal. Comes the blitz. They unload for Smith. Now the official stays out of bounds. The officials staring at each other. One raised his hands for a touchdown. The other signaled out of bounds. Finally, they got together and said he was out, or was he pushed out?
He was pushed out, Mike. That's what they're going to rule. They're going to rule that it's a touchdown because he would have come down with both feet in bounds had he not been pushed. There he goes up to try and make the play. Now they're saying that he was pushed out.
2nd and 10 for Denver here. Smith the motion man. Play action again by Elway. Can't find anybody. Now throws for the end zone.
Touchdown McCaffrey! No. Holy cow, what a catch! Oh. Wow.
Marco Coleman trying to get Elway. He floated it up there, and McCaffrey just snuggled it in.
Shannon Sharp in the backfield with Elway. Then he goes into the pattern. Elway goes long again. And it's a touchdown to Rod Smith. Rod Smith, who's had a brilliant year out of Missouri Southern, and they beat Donnell Wolford. The salute that's become the trademark for the touchdown makers for the Denver Broncos. And this man, Rod Smith, you saw in the pregame show, he says, I work daily. I don't work by the week. I work daily. Every time I come into the Denver locker room, I go right to see if my uniform's still there. He was a free agent. He struggled to make it, grew up on the practice squad, and now, as Elway says, he's got a potential star written on his back.
was open.
Elway, who did not throw an interception the entire month of November, going to the end zone. Touchdown Smith. He's got his 2nd touchdown. Wide open. Rod Smith, his 10th of the season.
I have to say, I don't think he was throwing it to Rod. I thought he was throwing it to Willie Green on the outside.
We both just looked at each other like,
yeah.
Willie Green's going to get this ball for a touchdown.
And Rod Smith just came out of nowhere to get the ball.
Neil Smith's elbow. He's had a triceps injury. Away from his 29. Look at the time. Fires now for Smith on the deflection, picks it off, and Rod Smith, who has 2 touchdowns, is all the way to the 31-yard line. He fumbled out of bounds. Carnell Lake finally got him off the field. Elway
scrambles. And Elway dives for a first down inside the Steeler 35-yard line. And at 37 years of age, Elway over 200 yards rushing again this season.
All right, Phil, no place to go.
More so now than ever before. He's without Terrell Davis. All the distractions of the week. The one constant for the Denver Broncos has to be John Elway.
3rd and 6 goes for the end zone for Smith. Did he get it? No, out of bounds. Bradford again right there on the coverage, the rookie.
Now,
Smith claiming he got pushed out, and now the officials will confirm.
Exactly. There was contact while the ball was in the air at the catch. So since they did not call interference, they can't say he was forced out of bounds, because then they would have to admit that once again they were wrong.
that should stand the way they called it. No, they turn it and call it a touchdown. Wow.
And Rodney Harrison, the strong safety, is just beside himself. He had a good look at the play.
The receiver got 2 feet down in the end zone.
No, he didn't.
2 feet down, touchdown.
Unless that left one is dragging. Was that left one dragging?
It would have to be in the shadows.
With some, practicing with the coaches after every practice during the week. Elway pumps, looks for Smith. Touchdown! Rod Smith with his second touchdown catch of the game. I think his confidence may be back.
Yeah, and we forget that he has been as big a component of this offense as Terrell Davis. That's his
14-3. Elway, touchdown McCaffrey. Ed McCaffrey, now with a career high 8 touchdown receptions this season.
Spend a week with his wife. They're going to sit down. They're going to talk. He's had the concussions. Whether or not he decides to return to football next year.
Natron Smith has come into the game. Elway on a play fake. Avoids one. Sharp has got it. Sharp down the sidelines. One man to beat. It's Harrison. Touchdown, Shannon Sharp. 68 yards.
There's an old adage in football that you will get beat mentally before you will physically. No one on earth can get that wide open.
John Elway now with 27 touchdown passes this year. That is a career high for number 7.
Third down and 3. Broncos thus far perfect. 5 for 5 on third down. Elway guns it over the middle, and it is Rod Smith, free and clear. Touchdown Denver.
I don't know if that was a completed pass or if John Elway impaled Rod Smith with that football.
He's had a lot of drops by Rod Smith. This time he stuck it in there. Jacksonville coming on a blitz, and it was a terrific read by Rod Smith and John Elway. They connect up, and he's gone.
On New Year's morning, Thursday, Denver from the 12 on third down. Elway going deep. Smith gets free, makes the catch, taken down in Jacksonville territory, beats Beasley.
I don't know what Beasley was thinking about. He was looking, staring into the backfield.
And a good break for Denver. At the 48 of Jacksonville, and Derek LaVille is in the backfield. Elway slings one, caught by Sharp, and out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
Ball at the 16. 1:54 left in the half. McCaffrey in motion. Elway to Howard Griffith, and the fullback is to the goal line. Touchdown! Howard Griffith, and how about this? Did not score a touchdown rushing or receiving all year. He's got one today in the playoffs.
I checked those gloves.
Boy,
he have gloves on, he checked those hands. What great hands!
John Elway very excited about the play because he knows it's not a good throw by him. He throws it behind the receiver, Howard Griffith, out in the flat.
Run it anyway.
But they were short.
16 seconds. Elway rolling. Same play to McCaffrey. Touchdown. Same play that got them to the 1. and McCaffrey wide open in front of Myron Bell. And what a final 2 minutes for John Elway and the Broncos as they have scored 2 touchdowns in the 2 minutes of the half. 5 yards in the last 8 plays for the Denver offense. McCaffrey back in. 5 wide receivers. And Shannon Sharp steals the catch and is down at the 33-yard line. How did he come away with the ball? Timeout, Cower and Pittsburgh.
It's a good catch by Shannon Sharp, but you've got to give this to John Elway.
Denver allowed. 2nd and 8, 52 seconds. Davis protecting the ball, but he has a first down. And Moore stays in bounds at the Pittsburgh 35, and that should just about wrap it up for the Denver Broncos. They're celebrating over on the far sidelines. Another first down, and the clock is running. One kneel down away from his 4th Super Bowl trip, and that'll do it as the Denver Broncos, the Wild Cards, have won 3 in a row on the road, and Mike Shanahan's team goes to San Diego, the AFC champions. Green Bay has not allowed a touchdown pass in 32 quarters. Play action, wide open. Elway walks it in for the score.
Well, that tells you what Green Bay's defense was thinking. They were thinking, this team is running the ball. They're going to run it again in this situation. And they are completely fooled by the play fake of John Elway. You've got to have discipline down on the goal line. You've got to make sure you cover both plays. Bernardo Harris, the linebacker, goes inside because the tight end, Shannon Sharp, blocks down. And now there's nobody on the outside for containment. John Elway's able to come out. Leroy Butler, hey, that's not his job. He's supposed to cover Shannon Sharp.
And Bernardo Harris, Phil, what he's got to do is
It's one of his fangs, all the players said. So he's
coach. Play action, Elway. Fires deep down the middle. Open is McCaffrey. And a first down inside the 35. Finally, to a wide receiver, and it's a big one. 36 yards.
good point.
11th play of this drive that started back at the Bronco 8. 3rd and 6, Elway shotgun. Almost offside, but the Packers got back on. Elway scrambling, looking, running, diving inside the 5-yard line for a first down. Is he only 37?
How important is this football game? How bad does John Elway want to win this football game? When you see that quarterbacks go down, not Elway.
Watch John Elway. He does a good job. He steps up. Watch him look to the sideline here. He knows where he's got to go for the first down. The only way he's going to get there is to sell out. He does it and protects the football.
3 Packers simultaneously sandwich and cartwheel Elway. It's 1st and goal. Elway with 4 rushes for 18 yards, and of course, in his early days, one of the great quarterback scramblers. So he told you has run the football more than any quarterback in history. 1st and goal. The eyes of Elway. 1st and goal.
You're making sure they don't give up the big play, but you also got to make sure that they don't get a first down.
Well, you'd hope that would happen, but the biggest thing is don't give up the big play and let them tie the game in 1.
Dedrick Dodge and Darius Johnson come in at the defensive back positions. The throw is John Mobley broke it up, and the Broncos are celebrating on the near sidelines.
Phil, they sold out. They ran a full-scale blitz at him.
Everybody blitzed with 2 defensive backs injured and out of the game. They send the ball. It makes Green Bay throw the ball before they want. It's knocked down by the defense.
With 28 seconds left, Denver takes over on downs at the 32. And the 13-year domination of the NFC apparently has come to an end. And the man, the sentimental favorite, the fans who didn't care about who won this game cared that John Elway got a Super Bowl ring. They've reserved his spot in the Hall of Fame. This man probably will get there too, but Elway's a cinch to go to Canton when he is eligible.
You know, after he lost to Jacksonville last year, he went home and his sister called him and he broke down crying. His kids, his 4 children, had never seen their dad cry before. Many of you remember when your dads cry, how important it is. It was a low moment of his great career. This then will become the highest moment. The completion of a great career, a Super Bowl championship for John Elway and the Denver Broncos. Jack Elway, the father, the coach, who has lived every moment of his son's career.
He was actually covering Shimura from up here.
Shannon Sharp. His brother, Sterling, left the Packers before they won last year. So Shannon will bring home the Super Bowl ring.
Bill Davis.
Well, much more. The trophy presentation we'll hear from the men who wrote the story here in San Diego tonight. And, of course, that will include John Elway. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Thank you, Paul. Whoa! I often wondered what this would be like. You know, I want to express my appreciation to all my fans, my coaching staff, and all my organization. But there's one thing I want to say here tonight. It's only 4 words. This one's for John.